The United States is dealing with a serial unalive. This particular menace has been wreaking havoc all across the United States. Our leaders know it's there, but they just can't seem to stop it. This menace promises to destroy everything we've worked hard for, but only if we can't find a solution ASAP. You know exactly what it is. As a matter of fact, I can guarantee that every person who's watching this video has dealt with this their entire life. This menace is called debt.
Is this nigga serious?
Nah, hold on. It's really that serious. In this video, we're gonna peel back the layers of debt that is destroying this country right now. Welcome to the Mr. Wilson's Got a Headache podcast. I'm your host, Dennis the Menace. Check this out.
Good morning, Maria. Well, first of all, let me say I'm a big supporter of President Trump. I know Rand Paul is. I know Rick Scott is. We all want to see him succeed. But at the same time, I sprang out of the Tea Party movement, campaigning in 2010, doing parades, shouting, "This is a fight for freedom. We're mortgaging our children's future. It's wrong. It's immoral. It has to stop." We were $14 trillion in debt then. Now we're $37 trillion. But when you put it in context of the $89 trillion we're going to spend over the next 20 years, the $22 trillion in additional deficit we're going to incur, that's $2.2 trillion per year deficit. It's completely unsustainable. I agree with Jamie Dimon here. This is something we have to take a look at. But again, my loyalty is to the American people, to my kids and grandkids. We cannot continue to mortgage their future. The transfer of wealth from old people like me to young people is literally immoral.
You heard it right. The proposed new big beautiful bill is supposedly going to raise the national debt by $2.5 trillion. To be clear, it's not signed into law yet. Nothing's been finalized, so between now and then, a lot can change. President Trump stated during his campaign that he wanted to lower the debt in the United States of America. So obviously these numbers are raising concerns all across the United States of America. When I first heard about this, it took me back to an interview that Donald Trump did. He was sitting in the Oval Office and reporters were asking questions. And he said that at first the deficit would increase and over time it would decrease. Now, if you remember that conversation, let me know. And now Elon Musk came out and said that either this bill was going to be big or it was going to be beautiful, but it couldn't be both. I guess Elon Musk is a little upset that Donald Trump has kept his word and all of the extra tax credits that people were getting to buy these electric cars are going to be cut, as the bill states right now. Elon Musk also stated that this level of spending in this bill directly contradicts the work that Doge has been doing across the federal government. Either way, this debt that we have right now has to be paid off. But the debt from the federal government is not the only debt that is calculated in the federal debt, and it's not the only thing that's showing major warning signs. Check this out.
People are going to lose their homes. They're going to lose their homes. I'm telling you guys, the storm is brewing and it's coming fast. Insurance premiums and property taxes are skyrocketing through the roof. And the result is that people's mortgage payments are getting higher and higher to the point that it's going to be unaffordable for most people. If you don't already know, your property insurance and your property taxes are rolled into your mortgage payment for as long as you have a mortgage. If you don't have a mortgage, you have to pay those property taxes and insurance separately outside of the mortgage. Part of your mortgage payment, when that statement comes in the mail, there's a line there that says escrow. And escrow is money that's set aside from your payments that is then used by the bank to pay your insurance and your property taxes. Your actual mortgage payment may not go up even if you have a low interest rate. Interest and principal will stay the same, but the amount you have to pay every month is going to skyrocket because the banks have to make sure you pay that. Your mortgage payment is going to go up because they've got to pay property taxes and insurance. This has always been the case, but the difference this time is that the rate of acceleration on property taxes and insurance is unlike anything anybody has ever seen. People's monthly payments are going up from $1,800 to $2,800.
Over the last year or so, inventory of houses on the market has continued to rise. During the pandemic, there was a major housing shortage, which led to increased prices. Most of us definitely remember both candidates, Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, making promises about what they were going to do to get the inventory of houses back to pre-pandemic levels. And hopefully, by doing so, prices would lower. Whenever you have 20 people all bidding on the same house, it creates a bidding war. And so a house that may have been worth $300,000 may go for $350,000. And when you decide to sell your house and you look up and see what other houses in your area were selling for, you see that one house for $350 and you thought you could get $280. So now human nature kicks in and everybody starts to get greedy. At the moment, the current level of houses on the market is back to pre-pandemic levels. If it was to stay here, it would actually be healthy. But most experts expect that the number of houses on the market will continue to rise because Jerome Powell with the Federal Reserve refuses to lower interest rates and has already led to a significant increase of foreclosures. Now, if this trend continues within the next 6 months to a year, we may see the beginnings of a housing crash. Some people think it's a good thing because if houses crash, prices crash. In the beginning of this video, I said I was going to pull back the layers of debt. We've talked about the big, beautiful bill. We've talked about housing, but there's one thing that most Americans don't know. Your credit card debt, your student loan debt, your car loan debt, your home debt, your afterpay debt, all of that debt is a part of the national debt. So as much as we want to scream about politicians, we all have a responsibility to control our spending with all of this negative talk about debt. The good thing is we now know what strategy the Trump administration is going to employ to lower the national debt. Check this out.
There are several components there. So if we unpack it, there is the growth, the potential growth of the debt, but what's more important is that we grow the economy faster. So what we've seen under the past 4 years, and what we inherited, I inherited 6.7% deficit to GDP, which was the highest deficit when we were not at war, not in a recession. So we've been trying to bring down the spending, and we are going to grow the revenue side. So we are going to grow the GDP faster than the debt grows, and that will stabilize the debt to GDP.
US debt to GDP ratio is at 120%, which is the same place it was at the end of World War II. And you notice they were able to deleverage after World War II for 40 years. They decreased their debt to GDP ratio until it hit around 30%. One of the reasons they were able to do this is because a lot of people came home from the war and started working and producing again. The economy exploded, which means that, let's say, even if the debt stays the same, if there's massive economic growth, it makes the debt easier to deal with because now the government has a larger economy that it can tax from to pay for the debt.
As I stated in the beginning of this video, I can remember Donald Trump answering questions and mentioning this exact strategy. So basically what the Trump administration is saying is if we increase our GDP, our gross domestic product, or what we sell to the world, the business that we do, if we can get that number to increase beyond the amount of debt that we owe, it will balance our debt to income ratio. As it stands today, the United States is deficit spending every single year, meaning the tax revenue that the United States receives from American citizens is less than what it takes to run the government. So we're digging ourselves into a hole every single year. As I've stated on previous videos that's on my channel, no president can come in and change the trajectory that we were on overnight. It just doesn't work that way. So if we were already on a bad path, we are still on that path, and it's going to take a series of excellent decisions to alter that path, but it's also going to take some time. So all of the warning signs that we were seeing in 2024, they haven't gone away. Spending money in the United States is a religion. It's ridiculous. You know, we go out to dinner and everybody looking to see how much money you spent. Matter of fact, as soon as you pull your card out to pay for your dinner, everybody trying to sneak a look to see what type of card you're using. When you first walked in, they trying to see what type of clothes you got on, what type of car you drove in, what type of shoes you wearing. And secretly, the mass majority of Americans are struggling behind closed doors. Something's got to change. What do you think needs to change? If anything, let me know. That's all I got in this video. But as always, I'll see you in the next video.